Senator Madigan.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, Senator Ludwig. Minister, in the only visible alteration made by the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry to its 2009 import risk analysis, the department updated the scientific name of the bacteria causing zebra chip disease using an article entitled Tuber Transmission of Candidatus lyribacter and its association with zebra chip on potato New Zealand, which was published in the 2011 peer-reviewed European Journal of Plant Pathology. Can the Minister explain why the department did not also mention that, in contradiction to advice given by DAF, the entire basis of this article was that potato tubers can transmit the zebra chip disease between potatoes without the aid of tomato-potato psyllid?
The Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, Senator Ludwig.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank Senator Madigan for his ongoing interest in potatoes. I thank particularly I'm advised that the draft review has taken into account the publication referred to, and I won't go through the title, and it's referred to by Senator Madigan. It's not correct to say, Mr President, that the issues raised are not referenced. The Gillard government takes biosecurity seriously and has invested heavily in the development and implementation of import policies that are risk-based, informed by the best available science. DAF did release a draft report for the review of import conditions for fresh potatoes for processing from New Zealand on the 3rd of July. The draft report was released for a 60-day public consultation period. 27 submissions were received, and a Senate inquiry has been initiated as well on the issue and is due to report on 21 November. If there is, what I always say, if there is any credible scientific evidence that the report hasn't properly canvassed or that would support tougher conditions of import than are proposed in the draft report, it does need to be brought to the attention of the Australian Government Director of Quarantine. I'm advised, though, in respect of the article that you mentioned, it has been referenced in some of the 27 submissions that have been provided to the department in response to the public comment period, and all evidence submitted will be considered by the scientific review team. The department does have an obligation to properly consider any credible evidence supporting stronger conditions of importation. It is an area where I know there is considerable contention, but I do
Time has expired, Senator Ludwig. Senator Madigan.
Thank you, Mr President. Minister, can you advise whether DAF believe that they have conducted a comprehensive analysis of research when industry continues to cite new contradictory research demonstrating that the vector required for the transmission of zebra chip disease is not limited to the tomato-potato psyllid?
The Minister.
Thank you. I thank Senator Madigan for his first supplementary question. I understand Senator Madigan has been attending this morning a briefing with departmental officials. I can't speak on behalf of them, but if asked this question, if he did undertake that directly with officials, I've got no doubt they would have answered in the affirmative, Mr President. For my part, I can say that the Gillard government is committed to an open and transparent process of review of the information that informs a biosecurity policy. That's why they put the report out for a 60-day consultation period, so that they could advise stakeholders. I understand that senators and members who attended a briefing earlier today were advised the department is in the process of considering the 27 submissions on the draft review of import conditions for potatoes for processing from New Zealand, and officials have also been informed.
Time's expired, Senator Ludwig. Senator Madigan.
Thank you, Mr President. Minister, in light of the fact that in the department's draft importation advice that the shipping containers can be aired in transit and on receiving wards with open doors or vents, can the Minister advise on what basis the department concludes that a flying insect such as tomato-potato psyllid will not be inclined to or capable of escaping a container that had previously been sealed?
The Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank Senator Madigan for his second supplementary question. I'm advised that the draft conditions for the import would require potatoes to be in bags and or covered on arrival. As department officials have advised the members in Senator's briefing, draft conditions of import would also ensure that all potatoes and all potato waste will be under quarantine management until they leave a factory cooked and frozen in a plastic bag. That is, transport from the port to processing facility under a quarantine seal, delivered to a quarantine-approved premise, and then waste disposed of in a quarantine-approved manner. Notwithstanding these strict conditions of import, no decision will be made to import potatoes from New Zealand under any circumstance before the contestable science-based policy review is finalised. It is important to note that Australia has imported 13,000 tonnes of tomatoes.
Time's expired.